Fallout continues over the U.S. Supreme Court decision banning affirmative action in the college admission process.
As Project Baltimore's Chris Papst explains, some believe this ruling now puts more pressure on public schools to better prepare students for college.
Ryan Coleman is the president of the Randallstown Chapter of the NAACP.
We're in trouble.
He's also a college professor at Strayer University, who says over the last 10 years, he's seen a disturbing trend.
The students are just not as well prepared as they used to be in English and math and those subject matter areas.
So you're saying that just in the 10 years that you've been a college professor, you've seen students coming into your classroom less prepared?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Which is why Coleman says last month's decision by the U.S. Supreme Court on affirmative action in college admissions is so important.
I was disturbed with the decision, but quickly I turned to how can it be mitigated.
On June 29th, the High Court struck down affirmative action programs at Harvard College and the University of North Carolina, ending the consideration of race in college admissions nationwide. The court ruled that race-conscious admissions violate the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution. The decision was met with controversy.
We cannot let the decision be a permanent setback for the country.
It is my hope to see a renewed college admission system that recognizes and rewards the multifaceted talents.
Prior to the Supreme Court's decision, 9 states had already banned the use of affirmative action in college admissions, including California, Florida, and Michigan. Maryland had not. Within the university system of Maryland, which includes 11 colleges and universities, minority enrollment increased 11 percentage points from 2003 to 2022. But Coleman says, following the Supreme Court's ruling, he expects that number to drop because he says black students, especially in our region, are not receiving the public education they need to compete in higher education.
The proof is in the pudding if you just look at the academic achievement. If you just look at Baltimore County, the academic achievement has drastically gone down from now till 10 years ago.
Baltimore County public school students take different state tests today than 10 years ago. But to give you an example, in elementary school in 2012, 89% of students scored proficient in reading. 10 years later, in 2022, about 40% scored proficient in English language arts, the closest equivalent. Last year, just 8% of 8th graders tested proficient in math. More than 8,500 8th graders took the test. 92% of Baltimore County students were not proficient in math.
They're not being prepared, and the failure is such that we just accept it. I think we're starting to get in this place where failure is okay.
Coleman tells Project Baltimore the Supreme Court's ruling, combined with the public school system failing to properly educate so many black students, is a double hit. To mitigate the effects of the ruling, Coleman says colleges should consider an income-based admission process and targeted recruitment of minority students. But the best way, he says, to get more black students into college is for public K-12 schools to be held accountable.
The answer is to educate our children better. Get those kids out of those schools, charter schools, magnet schools. Whatever we need to do, we can't continue to be in schools where they're just happy you're in the seat.
Coleman hopes the Supreme Court ruling banning affirmative action will put more pressure on public schools to better educate not just black students, but all students.
Public education, I think, is in serious jeopardy just because we're really not getting the results that we used to get, and we're not getting the results that we really need to get.
I'm Chris Papst, and this is Project Baltimore.
And on the heels of this U.S. Supreme Court decision, another college is doing away with the legacy admissions. Today, Wesleyan University, a liberal arts college in Connecticut, joined the list. The university joins other colleges, including Amherst, Johns Hopkins University, and Carnegie Mellon. Wesleyan today saying legacy status barely played a role in admissions, but the practice that's been used since the early 90s gives a leg up to children of alumni. Those who support legacy admissions argue it helps build a stronger intergenerational community and encourages donations.
I'm Chris Papst. Thanks for watching. here's another story to watch. Also, if you have a story idea, please send us a message.